We're live.
We're live.
Flip Life Lockdown Session, episode 5. When was the last time we haven't done one for a bit, have we?
What, since we've been doing it on lockdown or in general?
No, lockdown. Yeah, it was like, bro, we did like 4 bare quick. Then I don't know how long ago that was.
So I think we just gave it a little break, you know?
Yeah, I got this Mandalorian background today because I finished watching this TV show today with Baby Yoda.
It looks cute.
How you doing?
All right, just getting on with it, I suppose. Just staying at home as much as possible. Try not to let my kids drive me crazy. Like now.
Like they're gonna run into the live. Yo, you're live on YouTube.
YouTube, please, when you just got your boxers on. Move.
Oh my god. Flip Life Lockdown Show episode 5. I'm sure Big Ben will be with us shortly. He hasn't checked in to say what's going on.
As usual.
Wait, I'm just looking at the chat. Oh yeah, he was chatting today, of course. So today.
Say it out, please. It's not funny.
Yeah. So the last 2 shows we did, just talking to the people, I guess. But the last 2 shows, we had loads of people on here. We didn't say much ourselves.
Really, it was just. But I was interested in everyone else's conspiracies and their views in it. So
yeah. I felt like the people had so much to say. I thought I'm gonna sit back and let them talk. Here comes Big Ben, and I thought, yeah, we should pull it back a little bit and we should have a chat today rather than inviting the whole world. Maybe if someone wants to come on later, we could let 1 or 2 people in, but
maybe one at a time.
Yeah. Well, I realized the system to I was gonna tell T-Jan as well today. He might pop in, but yeah, there's a system I realized that we can mute everybody. And there's a little feature where they can put their hand up. You just press a button and it gives a little logo in the screen, and it's like.
Must have been.
So I need to work that feature out.
It's a meeting, isn't it? Like, you've got to be able to put up your hand because otherwise you can't control it. Everyone talks at the same time. So
yeah. But I guess today we're gonna just chat about what's been popping, regular news. I've had a whole load of beefs, and
yeah.
And we've been having a debate about the age of consent, inspired by Tim Westwood going trending on Twitter. What's going on, B?
What's good?
What are you saying?
I missed the whole beginning, so what you lot been talking about?
We're just saying what's good. Like, we're just saying hello. We ain't really said nothing yet.
Okay, that's good. That's perfect.
So how's lockdown, man? I ain't even spoke on the phone or nothing.
I can't lie, I don't mind it. It's a good time for creative people to be productive, so you know.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it in certain ways. In other ways, it's annoying. You know what I mean? I miss the world. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
Old me would be ashamed of how much new me misses the world. You know what I'm saying? Old world me would be so vexed at me for how much I just miss going shop and being able to go out and check people then when I feel like it.
No, I hear you still. Well, I guess so yeah, I was just introducing that, boom, we had bare people in here last time, and now I think we didn't get to say nothing, so let's strip it down back a little bit.
Let us talk.
That we'll have this debate about the age of consent, which was inspired by Tim Westwood going. So I guess we'll get into it in a little bit with that, but did you see what happened? Did both of you see the whole thing with Tim Westwood on Twitter? I still ain't got to the bottom of it.
I haven't seen it a bit, but fill me in.
You said you still ain't got to the bottom of it?
No, I don't know why Tim Westwood was like people was thinking, am I defending or something when I was saying this? When I'm not one bit. I was just like, what's happened today? Like, for it to be a current trending thing. And I don't think it was. It's just that someone started talking about Tim Westwood being a nonce or whatever, or being quite noncy with young girls. And it just was trending, didn't it? Bare people was telling stories. Someone
Yeah,
said,
like, I see someone. I think it's. I don't know. The main thread seemed to be about like him linking uni students. Yeah.
yeah.
And then like I don't know. The memes. The some of the tweets was actually super hilarious. Like I was like, he was 9 when UK won the world, when Britain won the World Cup, but these times when England won the World Cup, but these times he's linking uni girls and that. It's like
yeah. There was coming for him, and
old. I didn't realize how old he was when he was dropping bars. Like he was like a certain age when World War II ended. I'm like, oh yes, Pete.
Yeah. That is but yeah, I see one guy who was like, yeah, when I was at uni, when like he didn't say when it happened, but he was like, yeah, he remembers like coming into the kitchen in his uni dorm. You know, they have them flats where a few people live together. Coming into the kitchen in the morning, and Tim Westwood was just there. You know, that's they're stumbling out of some girl's room or whatever. You know, and like, cool. That could have been 10 years ago, and it still would have been a bit creepy, innit? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you remember when Ty was talking about it? Was it like last year?
Yeah. So Ty was talking about it last year. Yeah, Ty did bring this up, but it weren't just about the young. That was about like, you know, they were saying he's done some really inappropriate stuff. Do you know what I'm saying?
I know in the thread, certain women were like, yeah, well, I've told you already, Ty, what happened.
The women started talking. I think at that time, I put up a post saying I defended Westwood a lot over the years about music. Like I always hold his corner. Like, why is everyone shouting out Westwood? Westwood's done a lot for the game, yeah. But then when I was looking at this, and I think I decided last time, because I think I came out last time, and I never do this now. Like, you know, like when there's kind of like sexual allegations, I just either don't say nothing or just take this or side with the victims and what they're saying. Never on this, like, you know, by the time I hadn't seen any victims speaking, so I was just like kind of like, I'm seeing rappers accuse Westwood of something. So I think I came out like, yo, like, where's the evidence of this or whatever? And then within about 10 minutes, someone inboxed me something. Someone actually inboxed me something like, yo, Westwood done this, like, and I was just like, I think I deleted the post, or I was like, yeah, let me back down straight away on this one. And then since then, I've seen people speaking and like,
yes, I don't know.
Just like, and then I'm thinking about it just on that, because the young thing is a different conversation anyway. It's not the same one as the kind of other inappropriate things, but it's something that at my age now I'm looking man off for anyway. So it's like I have to start looking at it like, yo, yeah, I can't defend this guy right now.
Yeah, and also it's like, I don't know, man. The things people are writing to defend him, I'm like, oh, this is insane. Like,
that's the wild thing, man. And then I was Genesis Elijah. I saw posting, should the age of consent be higher or whatever? I can't remember what he wrote exactly. He might have said 18. And I started responding to it. I didn't realize that it was probably inspired by the Tim Westwood thing. I saw it before, so I already started engaging in that conversation. And then, so I rose it as a debate after that. Do you know what I'm saying?
The thing is, like, I don't know about that. I don't know if it should be higher.
Yeah.
I think it should. I think, you know, the law should be enforced and people should be educated.
Yeah, like, I've seen that. I've seen that's been brought up.
I don't know if what will it change? Because I don't know if big man in their 60s should be linking 20-year-olds. Do you know?
Yeah, but that's why I said I think there should be more focus on age difference. Yeah. And people were going wild, like, no, you can't say that. But I think they were thinking something way more extreme than what I mean by that. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not saying, all right, cool. Like, someone was like, you can't just be like, yo, 10-year age difference. And this is like, and I was like, I never said that. You know what I'm saying? Like, never said that for a start. You know, because already now, and I couldn't find these laws, right? Because I'd looked it up before a while ago when I was trying to investigate a similar conversation. And obviously, we know the age of consent in the UK is 16. But there is already a clause for I think under 18s and but definitely under 16s as well. There's already a clause where there's an age difference that is allowed. Like, I think even under 16, maybe I think from 13 to 16, if there's like a sexual relationship going on, as long as the age difference isn't, I couldn't find the exact number when I was looking it up this time, but I did in the past. So I think it's 3 or 4 years or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, but what I did find on some legal website that was breaking it down yesterday was like, it said if the age is close. Like, that's literally the way they broke it down. So they didn't put a specific age. They just said if the age is close, they're not gonna ever like, there's legal practice to not to prosecute, basically, isn't it? So that's what I kind of mean. Should the age be higher and then have some kind of clause?
These times, more time, I don't feel like laws are the answer. It's because our kids is out here wild, not really knowing what's going on, that these predators can even target them. You know, like, there's certain young girls that are just untargetable by these, and young boys that are untargetable because they're protected, they're educated, they know there's people they can go to who we need to educate people, and then
that's not fully protect. That won't fully protect them, though. I'll be honest with you.
It won't fully protect. There's no way to fully protect anyone, but I always worry about making new laws because they don't enforce the laws they got now.
That's true.
They just don't. True. It's like we make a new law, then we feel like the problem's solved and we stop looking. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
What do you think as the only woman right here?
Wait a sec. Abby, we can't hear Abby. I'm going to unmute her. You mute yourself, Abby.
Sorry, yeah, because I was shouting at my kids. 1 sec. No, I think it should be higher. Like, if you look at the States and stuff. Get out. Sorry. Get out. This is really annoying. Listen, yeah. Sorry, people. This is live lockdown, dealing with your kids' issues.
We never had these issues before.
Sarah said we should start once the kids are in bed. You get me?
I've shut my door now, so you should be able to come in. Yeah, you can't come in here now. Shush. Sorry, guys. Like, in the States and stuff, it's like between, I was having a look, it's like between the age of 16 and 18, depending on the different states.
Yeah, but a lot of it's 18.
In Africa and places like that, like, it's 11.
Yeah, some places of the world, yeah.
Man can't say Africa and places like that. Africa's a big place. It might be the biggest place in the world.
Go look it up. Like,
in Sweden or Norway, one of them countries is 12. So let's talk about
there's different countries though where it's much lower, like in all parts of the world.
They have no child pregnancy problems. We have the biggest child pregnancy in Europe and our consent age is 16.
Yeah, someone was breaking that down.
No, like, can I say my point now, please?
Sorry
to mansplain.
Yeah, you just relax there for a minute. No, so my point is, like, it's different all over the world, but people don't necessarily conform to rules and regulations anyway. People are going to do what they're going to do regardless. My view, though, is like, I mean, over here, it's currently 16. There was talks about it being lowered, which I really don't think that should happen. If anything, I think it should be 18. Personally, because I think kids are like getting into like sex and boys way too soon. Like, they're prepping before they're 16 and some of them get involved in it way too early. So I think it puts pressure on both like males and females when they know the age of consent is 16. It's like a competition. It's like you need to hurry up and get there. Do you know what I mean? So I think personally, I think it should be higher. I don't think kids are ready to experience it properly at that age and they're too young.
That's a good point. Because the society is mad over-sexualized.
It over-sexualizes.
Some of my nieces and nephews, they was told that they was under pressure to lose their virginities.
Listen, like, at the age of 16, etc., they're doing their GCSEs and whatnot, yeah? That's what their focus should be on. But a lot of them are focusing on the wrong things because they're like, yay, I can get on with what I'm doing now in terms of having sex. And it's like, I don't think it's right.
Yeah.
I honestly don't think it's right. I just think it shifts their focus way too early. So yeah, that's my opinion.
Yeah, but I guess because it started from this Tim Westwood thing. It's like, yeah, that's the excuse. The excuse is like, if Tim Westwood's 60 years old is linking like 17-year-old girls, like that's mad. Do you know what I'm saying? So like, so do you know what I'm saying? So the idea is that it's older, so that, you know what I'm saying? Like, man like that would have to start going, right, cool, I can't. But then it's still, you're right, even 20 years old is wrong, innit? So it's like, we do have to
weird.
fucking,
it's weird.
you know.
I don't know if it's like, this is what I'm saying.
Shout out to Godzilla78 on the chat. It said, my daughter is not allowed to date until 21 and I'm going. And shout out to Show and Prove, who said flip life.
It's true. It's like, it's just too much now. Like, it's just, that's all you see with kids. It's like, this is why girls are posing how they're posing too early on. That's why their focus is all on social media, getting attention of boys, this, that, and the other. It's just not right. We're encouraging the wrong things, personally.
Yeah, there's a whole bigger conversation to have about sexualization of children and young people.
Shout out to my cousin Precious. She hollered at me the day you posted this. That's why I said this is included in Nova's beef.
Was she coming for me? Yeah.
No, she was just saying what are my thoughts on it, innit? And she was just bringing up different stuff. She was bringing up, like, you know, certain age gaps where it's not a problem and we don't mind, and also she was bringing up, like, in the third world where like an older guy will marry a young girl or whatever. But I was just like, in them situations, that guy's married to her till they dead, until he's dead. You get me? He's not linking next young things. It's not. He's just got a fetish for young things. Like, and them man there that are big man just linking young things. The reason they're doing it is because they're young, they're naive, they're horny, they're manipulatable in a way that big women ain't. And so a big woman will see through you and see that you're a waste man, whereas the young girls might not be able to clock it till down the line. And so that's why I see there's a problem with it. Like, these men are predators on a tip where,
here's something else. I forgot to write this online. Maybe I'll write it online in a minute now, yeah? So that while we're on this live, we'll see if people respond. There is a law, yeah? So it's under 16 consent, right? There are certain things that you can't do till 18. So, like, I think porn, like certain sexual activity, like sign, like on film. But yeah, one of the clauses is you can't sleep with someone who has any kind of authority or, like, like influence in your life. So teachers, you know what I'm saying? Like a teacher, can't really think of the other examples.
Like Glenn from Burley.
Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's mad because we laugh at it because it's a boy, innit? That's why people, the menimists will come for us for that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, there was a boy in our school who was dating the teacher when he was 15 as well, to be honest, I think. They stayed together for years. She was she was like 25 or something. Oh, wow. Anyway, yeah.
They had kids and shit.
So it's like if you're misusing that influence, yeah, it's like the law is there to stop, like, older guys from misusing a position of power, yeah. So should a celebrity fall into that?
Boy, that's mad.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if that's specifically what the law is for, isn't it? So it's like you can't, like, it's 18 and over if there's any kind of, it's supposedly any kind of, like, sense of power structure involved.
I think someone that's definitely, like, in the public eye like that, definitely there should be some sort of responsibility, because at the end of the day, like, it will just mash up your career if nothing else. And it
won't though, man. It don't mash up their careers too bad. Westwood's been going for how many years? We're only putting him up now. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna die. He's about to die, bro.
Trump is president out here, boy. Like, he got bare allegations. Like, from when he had the TV show, he had allegations.
Of the Trump thing.
And just, I've never been easy with, like, Westwood. Like, my feelings always thought, like, yeah, there's something dodgy about you for the longest. So it doesn't surprise me that he's finally caught up with him.
I'm gonna share this clip in a minute. There's a clip of him like at one of his dances. Yeah, I'm gonna share this clip. I only noticed it with Westwood recently, because he shouts out at girls in the crowd, yeah, and he's always talking to the young thing. He's never talking to the girls that are with me. He's talking to the babies.
Like, hey, shake it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
don't lie about one man on your pum pum.
Yeah, he's foul. He's certified foul. Do you know what I'm saying? And only now. And imagine you mentioned Donald Trump, but that's our next debate. I should actually bring someone on to talk about that. But I was arguing about Donald Trump recently because a lot of Donald Trump defending at the moment. You know what I'm saying? People are like, Donald Trump is going for the pedophiles. He's doing great stuff. And I'm like, so I had to look into it a little bit because I didn't know much details of all his allegations, but like, I basically found a case where him and Epstein were fucking co-defendants. Like the only two of them as well, co-defendants of a rape charge against a 13-year-old. You know what I'm saying? Like I found the court documents, everything. And everyone's like, people were like, yeah, he didn't get charged. I'm like, yeah, he didn't get off. The girl who withdrew her charges is because she got death threats. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like, you know, and then there was like fucking his name on the flight log to Epstein's flights and that. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man.
Yeah, this is what I was trying to
Man's the president.
Like, there's people with allegations out there. Even like, I think both guys, Biden and Trump, have both got like over 30 allegations. Both of them.
Oh, Biden as well. I don't know much about Biden. I know he's pointless.
Trump back in the day, he used to present the Miss Teen America competition, and them girls was like used to just walk into the room when they were changing and shit.
Yeah.
Like, he's super creepy. You know what I'm saying? Like,
there's some other news stories though. There's some other shit going on. Obviously, I've had a bag of madness. David Icke though today is the big news today.
Got banned from YouTube.
And he got banned from Facebook first, and then he got banned from YouTube.
Yeah.
Which is, I don't know, that's all a bit mad. Terror Slim. I'm trying to get Terror Slim to install Zoom so he can come on here, but Terror's been going off about it.
Yeah, I see that.
He's going off on some anti-left wing thing. Like, yeah, look, this is what the left want. I'm like, bro, like this is some right wing extremism. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, and turning it into a left wing is what they want you to do as well. So don't play into the. You know what I'm saying? Like this, but I get his thing that
Terror's got extreme views in all ways, but Terror is right wing. Let's not.
Yeah, exactly.
Terror's like, yo, why we got so many immigrants here? I love him. That's my brother.
I'm gonna write something about this online, but yeah, what do we think? Like, he's supposedly on. Is that what you shared, Abby, in the group?
No, that isn't what I shared in the group.
I thought it was to do with David Icke because there was like David Icke was on London Live or something.
Yeah, it's to do with David Icke.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what we're talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, so obviously we're just talking about his YouTube got taken down, which is a bit crazy. Like, that is a bit mad. I can't lie. Obviously, David Icke chats hella fucking bullshit, but he does talk some stuff as well. Do you know what I'm saying? And taking down his YouTube, that's just insane.
You know, I kind of saw that coming as well. Like, before this, a while back, they took down a bunch of Facebooks and a bunch of YouTubes. David Icke was in there. The other mad one from America was always shouting. I can't remember his name. Alex Jones.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, my guy got took down.
But all the really right-wing ones?
No, but then a bunch of left-wing ones got took down. There was no press about it. So Telesur, which is one set up by Cuba and Venezuela, got took down. And then Farrakhan got took down as well from both. And then, you know, the news was really just about Alex Jones because he shouted about it the most. And then now this COVID thing's come round. Any videos that mention it are being taken down. Like, so I could see people that have big platforms like David Icke getting shut down quick.
I have to ask myself why. Why is it getting taken down? They're quick to silence people when they're talking truth. This is what happens. So yeah, I know sometimes don't laugh over. They are quick to silence people when they're sounding like they're being like too far-fetched, or, you know, like it just.
No, you're right. They do silence people when they're talking truth. I just don't think David Icke's trading much truth, man. Fuck it though. Not me personally, but they do. But also there is an issue. This will be where Terror goes, look, there's the left agreeing with the fucking fascism, but like there is an issue where, like, if we're gonna spread some alternative message, right, but it's actually not true, and it's gonna lead like the whole 5G thing when we're like, all right, these 5G towers are rare, and we start burning down the streets. You know what I'm saying? Like, at what point is it like, if we just convince everyone to like go out there and just do something mad fucking dangerous for our own selves and our communities, like, how do we address that? I don't think shutting anybody's YouTube is acceptable, so I don't think that's how we address it. But it is a bit mad when misinformation, if we're all following misinformation, that could be dangerous for us. And we fucking are following misinformation from them that's dangerous to us half the time, all the time anyway. I get that. But, you know.
Misinformation we receive is from the government, to be honest. So that's my personal opinion. And I think for them to shut people down, they're hiding something. You need to.
I think also,
I'm not saying every single thing that's said by these certain, figures are true, but there's some truth in it, and it's not going to just come out of nowhere. And you have to research. You have to like go way back and do your.
I think also they pick their targets. So certain time they'll pick a David Icke to do some stuff. They'll be like, oh yeah, there's an argument you could make with David Icke because he said some wild stuff. And then they'll do it to someone saying stuff less wild next time. And then they'll do it to someone saying stuff not wild at all the next time. But I don't feel like platforms like YouTube or Facebook should just have the right to just take people's content down, especially to the size they got now where they're in almost every country in the world. They should have like independent people looking into why they took people down and stuff like that. I know they're private businesses, but they should be ready, because what happens is they pick an easy target like a David Icke. Say, oh look, he talks about lizards. We're just not letting man talk about lizards. But then next time when someone's saying, hey look, the government's trying to mess you up, and they take him down, the rules already in place where they can just do it to whoever they feel like.
And apparently they took him down for anti-Semitism, no? I think that's what Terra said. I don't know if that's correct or not. That's what they're claiming.
Him and Jeremy Corbyn, yeah?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So anytime I hear that one, it's like, come on.
I'm always skeptical these days, man. Because we're going to do the Labour show, but with Jeremy Corbyn, like half of the things was one guy. It was one guy making complaints. Half of the complaints was one guy.
I fully ended my Labour membership, by the way. They sent me an email back. I haven't even shared this online. They sent, I told them I'm ending it because of the whole document that came out and all of the whatever you call it. So they sent me a long email like breaking down what they're doing about it, and look, it sounded like so much gibberish. It's unbelievable. But I want to share. Basically, it was like, yeah, we're not doing shit. You know what I'm saying? It was like, it was like a 5,000 word essay. We ain't gonna do shit.
When you get caught cheating, can we just move on?
No, they said they're saying they're gonna do an independent investigation and blah blah blah. But I'm gonna reply to it and be like, yeah. So are all the people in there gonna be suspended in the meantime? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, because like, why aren't you telling us that that's happened right now? Because like, piss off. Do you know what I'm saying? But yeah,
which is a light request.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not even a big request, but they ain't gonna do it.
So anyway, the other thing was.
Can we talk about your beefs?
Yeah, we can talk about my beefs, and then the other thing was Snips. Snips was another story. This.
Oh, he caught heat in it. Yeah,
you see much of that?
I see you talk about that in the group chat. That's about it. Yeah.
The snail that set it off in it. That's how I knew about it. Then I went and looked it up. Yeah. So Snips, apparently, I haven't even been following this thing. Yeah. So there's a thing on Twitter called like 10. I don't know what it's called exactly. Let me find out again, man. It's like called 10v10 or something.
Oh, when they're battling each other. Like
so like the song battle, like the song battles that's been going on with producers and stuff like that.
I've seen a couple of them. I ain't watched them though.
So yeah, the 10v10, and it's just by DJs, isn't it? So they just have two artists and someone will play. So it's not the actual celebrities this time. And so Snips apparently just came out cussing the audience of that thing and just whatever just came out at them. And people are like, well, this is a very black audience for a start. You know what I'm saying? Like, he just caught heat as a white DJ coming out just dissing a black audience and like a black culture thing that's happening that's doing quite well on some hater shit. And like I saw other like notable DJs and stuff like really coming for him, like, nah, like, yo, this guy's invite to the cookout has lasted too long and that kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah, because I try to look it up. Yeah, I just see him coming in bare defense of himself. Like, apparently, I don't like black people because I was like,
yeah, but the mad thing is, I have said that to him before. He blocked me.
I know.
He blocked me time ago because I said to him, because I have this thing where it's like, I started thinking about all these people that talk about real hip hop and that, and these old white guys, or even like, you know, our age, whatever, these white guys that have now been into hip hop and involved in the culture for a while, who now feel like they got more right over it than like the young black artists that are doing their thing. When it's something that just started becoming uncomfortable to me when I was looking at that. When I see a snips online going, yeah, that's not hip hop, and he's talking about like some young black artists from the hood doing their thing. You know what I'm saying? I just look at it and I think, red flag. You know what I'm saying? Like, cool. Like, I'm a white guy in the culture as well. Like, I wouldn't do that. Like, I'd feel uncomfortable for that reason. You know what I'm saying? Even if I felt it. You know what I'm saying? So I just wouldn't say it. So,
and also, like, you know, he's one of them old school. When I see him on the timeline, he's always just like, people don't talk enough about what was going on in 94 and 88.
Yeah. He's one of them fucking clowns. And like, another thing is, bro, obviously I know him for years and bare of his friends are my friends and things like that. Do you know what I'm saying? But nah, man, I'm just not feeling it. Like he produced a song on my album and shit like that. Like, yeah, like, but he's a clown. He is a clown. Straight up and down, he's a clown. Like that's just what it is. And then so when I just searched his name, and obviously I'm not seeing his tweets because he's blocked me, so I'm just seeing what other people are writing and that, yeah. So I just searched his name on Twitter, and all like literally, I reckon the first 30 tweets I saw didn't say anything about like the 10 for 10 thing. It was just like, why has Snips blocked me? And it was just black people, innit? Like, just bare black people saying Snips had blocked them. So I'm like, bro, why is Snips, like, black people are challenging Snips and he just blocks them? Like, no, like, he's not, like, you're not ready for the conversation. And then it turned out, like, these are people who are also doing the same thing I done, but they're going to search Snips because they're seeing this thing on Twitter, yeah?
Yeah.
And they're noticing they're blocked for the first time. And they're thinking, right, why am I blocked? Like, I don't even know this guy. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it turns out, because it was from a previous time that he had said some shit about Afro beats and bare people came for him. So he just blocked everyone who came for him.
I remember the Afro beats ones.
I didn't know that. Apparently he said Afro beats came from dancehall or whatever.
Yeah.
And they just came for him. Like, so anyway, but that ties into my, I didn't even set up this segue, but that segues perfectly into my conflict with Michael Rappaport.
Come on, you are beefing all the mics. But you don't
yeah, I didn't even think of that.
It's a shame I don't think he's guilty, otherwise I can say the consent thing is Michael Jackson, but
yeah, I didn't say nothing about Michael Jackson, bruv. But yeah, Michael
though, that was the most random beef you've been in still, I ain't gonna lie.
So Michael Rappaport, yeah, just for anyone who didn't see this, he has like he is one of them guys who is a white guy who is attached to hip hop culture for some reason, even though he's like an actor or whatever. He's from New York. He's been around a lot of hip hop and stuff.
He's also in a lot of black films.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to remember, he's in a lot of black films.
Yeah, and he plays the racist a lot of the time, you know. But anyway, higher learning, isn't it?
Higher learning.
Well, like when I've said, bro, I'm gonna battle Michael Rappaport. Do you know who said it? Is it Messiah? Was that his name? Messiah Bollicool? What's that rapper from back in the day that used to battle with the Westwood things? He commented on my thing, was like, yeah, do it for Tyra. And I was thinking, like, because I saw that they will say, a lot of people was telling me Michael Rappaport has got in a lot of trouble with going at black women all the time, innit? And Janet Jackson was one of them. And I was like, yo, I saw he went at Janet. Did he go at Tyra too? And he was like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like on the roof. And I was like, or something like that. And I was like, oh yeah, in the movie. Because in higher learning, yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, and higher learning, that's who he kills, isn't it?
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, spoiler alert.
And that's a dope film still. I'm gonna watch that later. Anyway, but yeah, so I said he just done some bullshit rant about what is hip hop doing? Where's hip hop like in this COVID crisis? Like, where's all the rhymes? Like, I'm like, yo, apart from that wordsmith thing that was completely fire that I really did love, like, I don't want to hear no rhymes about fucking COVID too much. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to hear like some, you know. So
if I hear them, I don't mind, yeah. But who's asking for them?
Yeah, so he was like, yeah, hip hop is supposed to be the voice of, and then I was like, people have been sending clips of like shit that rappers doing in their communities. You know what I'm saying? Like giving money or like just charitable work that they're doing. I'm like, yeah, there's hip hop, bro. Like, but anyway, because he's one of these guys. He just always talking again talking against the young hip hop artists, saying this is not hip hop. This is. And so I just tweeted, like, it wasn't to do with this specific thing. It was just about him. I was just like, why is Michael Rappaport always attacking hip hop? I was like, it's almost racist. And there's no way on earth I'm expecting him to respond. You know what I'm saying? But man got triggered and came like, yo, he came for me. And obviously he's looked at my page, seen that I'm a rapper, and was like, yeah, you're just mad because you can't rhyme though or whatever. Like, so like, so me and him are going, we're going back and forth for a minute. I'm like, yo, say something intelligent though. Like, come on the show, innit? Let's talk, come on the show. Like, and he was like, nah, battle me. You know what I'm saying? So he just kept telling me to battle him. I didn't have nothing smart to say. And so like, I don't know if I'm still gonna do it. But I was like, obviously I know he's like, I tell him, come on here and battle me. I know he's not gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? But because he's called me out to battle him, like, so I, you know, I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna write a song. You know what I'm saying? So I've started writing something. I'm about halfway through it. I should have just done it quick, but I don't care about it that much. But if I do it within a certain time period, if I manage to finish it, then I'll put it out and then I'll just at him and just like terrorize him about it. You know what I'm saying? But like,
that beef was random. Like, I see it, I'm like, what the fuck? yo. And the fact that he replied, you know, quarantine is
it's getting man.
Like, people are on the war thing during quarantine. You know how many beefs have been happening? It's like people are reading their timeline and replying to people like, yeah, come on.
But you know what, yeah? Because I was investigating this stuff about him, yeah? Because I'm looking it up, like, obviously, I'm a white person in black music culture as well. Like, I'm very, like, I try to be very aware of race issues, stuff like that. And I'm looking at some of the stuff he does, and I'm like, so I'm watching some of his interviews, and I'm like, right, I'm agreeing with him a lot, innit? Like, there's bare times I'm like, right, I agree with him, he's on point. But then there's certain times where he just steps, like, where he just gets to a point where he's like, nah, like, where he just starts talking down to black people involved in the conversation. But it's like, I'm having the same conversations he has, but I would never do that. I would never reach to that point, even if I feel something, like, I got to be ready to listen and learn something. So it was a whole thing. People were saying that he stood against Kaepernick about the whole
standing thing,
standing for the
kneeling for
kneeling for the national anthem, right? So I'm like, right, okay. So I'm Googling it to try and find out what he said. And all I can find is stuff of him talking in support. Yeah. Talking in support of kneeling. So I'm like, okay, so he's on side. That's when I'm seeing all this stuff, you know. And then I found the actual tweet, and it was like, he was venomously wrote on 9/11. He venomously wrote on a tweet that any of you, I guess there's humor in it as well. Venomous is a bit much when you read the whole tweet, but he was just like, yo, any of you who kneel on 9/11, because I'm removing you from my fantasy football team. And he said something else more like attacking them or whatever. Yeah, like, nah, you don't do that. Yeah. And then like he was more vicious in the responses to people. People started coming for him. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, and then like, so then you're seeing like black people on Twitter coming for him like, nah, like, this thing don't end on one day because you feel like it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like police brutality is not ended. Like, and he was he started coming at them. Like, I got screenshots of this on some, okay, why don't you leave them? Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm like, how can you be so like racially aware 1 minute that like what you're claiming to be and in your like platforms and conversations, and then say something that's so widely accepted within this community as racist. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't say that to people. That's just point blank racist. You don't start saying, "Oh, if you don't like it, leave."
Yeah, that's mad.
And then he started going, "Oh, I didn't say, you know, go to where you're from. You know, you could go to like, you know what I'm saying? Like, go to Sweden or whatever." Like, you know, he tried to get out of it.
Go check the young things in Sweden, yeah.
So basically, Michael Rappaport, dickhead, isn't it? They're both of the another clown. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's disgusting.
Nah. Okay, so the next one, I'm not gonna say clown on the next one, but yeah. Was there any others? So the other one is Mike GLC, who we spoke about on episode, I can't remember, I think it was episode 2, because it was the one Wordsmith was on.
Yeah.
Has B vanished now? I know he's gonna want to have this conversation as well.
Episode 3.
Episode 2, I think, was Wordsmith, because this is episode 5. We done 2 with the thing. Anyway, it's definitely the one with Wordsmith on it. So now I'm saying that. So Mike GLC.
Oh yeah.
We spoke about on the I think second episode I was just working out, the episode with Wordsmith, when we spoke about his beef with Jay Spades, and he must have watched that episode and absolutely lost it on Twitter and started just coming for me like, yo.
It was the day after Michael Rappaport.
Was it? Yeah, and it was quite a while after the actual episode, yeah.
What did he say?
And to be honest, in a lot of what he was saying, and you know, in this, I'll tell the whole story, but obviously I had a conversation with him, and in a lot of it, he was on some energy of keep my name out of your mouth. And obviously I'm still here talking about it. So by the end of the day, you know, it ended respectfully. So to a degree, like, cool, I'm not gonna continue that conversation much other than just to kind of explain what happened or whatever, because it did end respectfully. But he got vexed because I said 2 things that I said. Because I said his name. Because I said his name didn't ring out in the streets. You know?
Oh, when we was talking about the fighting between him and...
Yeah. When we were talking about that beef. So because I said, I was like, yeah, to be honest, I didn't hear Mike's name ring out in the streets or whatever. And then, you know, then I put a challenge to him that I felt like it was contradictory, that he kind of says, don't do the road thing, and then raps about the road thing too or whatever, yeah? So he was just mad, like he was going mad on Twitter, like, you little prick, all of this. And he asked me, he was like, yo, DM me your number. So I DM'd him my number. He called me, we spoke on the phone. He was mad respectful straight away, to be honest. I could tell he was wound up, yeah, but he wasn't like, he didn't come in like going mad on me. He did have moments where he ranted like quite angrily about the industry, yeah. And he would say like, I'm not, because this ain't really at you, but everyone, like the whole industry is fake. And the things I've seen him say this publicly. And one of my points with him was like, at the end of the day, bro, like you've been involved in music, so these things happen, it's public, people are going to talk about it. But I did have to take and I said to him as well, I did have to take on board a level of respect in that he is a person who obviously has pulled back from music a lot, innit? Like he doesn't really involve himself that much. Do you know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
he doesn't want to. I was trying to get him to come and do the show with us and talk to us. He was like, didn't want to do that. He just wanted to have the conversation with me in private anyway. He didn't want to. He was saying he gets offers from other shows, Channel 4, whatever. He doesn't want to do them kind of things, innit? He's just not into it. So I had to kind of respect that, you know. But I was just trying to get across to him, like, at the end of the day, like, and this is what goes back to my same thing, like, if you're not about the roads and you're trying to be positive, you shouldn't care whether I think your name rings. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you shouldn't care about it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So that was kind of my point to him. And
habits die hard.
And that's the one point I don't think we really. But at the end of the day, I said to him as well, I understand like human beings are complex, innit? Everyone's battling their own demons and got their own shit going on. And I can't lie, I have to say, how he handled it with me in the end, I have to say, I got respect for it. You know what I'm saying? So leave that be, man. Do you know what I mean? And obviously, also there's a backstory. If you watch the other episode, obviously I say that he blocked me for something previously, yeah. So and that I had to explain that to him as well and say, you know what, I'm coming in this show that you've watched for the first time with a certain energy to do with some shit that's from the past. Do you know what I'm saying? Like you're seeing it for the first time, so I kind of do get that you're coming in, that you're pissed off about something, like, you know. And he was like, cool, yeah, you know, that's honest. Just, you know, how you explain that about your energy and so yeah, it was blessing it, and I think it's a shame. Like we had a good conversation about the industry and some real interesting stuff, you know. It's a shame he doesn't want to come on these kind of platforms and talk about it. One of the things as well is he was dissing a lot of, like, this was one thing where I got him to really see eye to eye to me, but he's dissing a lot of these kind of platforms, isn't it? Like, I don't know, I can't put names onto it or whatever, but you know, like a lot of these talk platforms that are just like some nerds. You know what I'm saying? I would look at like Alhan and all of them fucking nerd fucking platforms as, to me, I look at them like that, like you're not really of the culture and you're sitting here with your opinion kind of thing, innit? So he was kind of coming at me like that, and I was like, but I'm not that. Do you know what I'm saying? So you're angry at this whole kind of industry and these people that are like having an opinion on something that they're, and he talked about race, innit? He was as well. He's like, yeah, also like, you know, a white person coming having this opinion on, and I was like, I agree with you. I said, like, on a lot of race issues, you know what I'm saying? Like I think me and you have that conversation and I'll really agree with you. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, for the same reason I'm having that beef with Snips or Michael Rappaport. Do you know what I'm saying? Because I asked that, like, I'm a person who, you know, is very aware of them kind of issues, and I talked to him about like the Kung Fu days, and you know what I'm saying, like that where I saw that whitewashing kind of happen in this industry, you know. So that would be an interesting conversation. But
yeah, that sounds like it would have been. I wish he came on, but I do think there's an energy right now of like aggression. People are aggressive. I don't know if people ain't beating enough, or if the socializing, or people are isolated or whatever. But I'm saying you can beat with a face mask on. Anyway, these times, that's just advice for the people. Them, I was talking to a friend of the show. I'm not even going to bait him up because I want him to come on and talk about it. But he was walking down the street and he must have called me or whatever. And then someone walked too close to him. And then he started shouting, "Hey, what the fuck are you doing? Are you mad?" And then the guy started shouting back at him. And I'm just listening to this argument that was had because someone walked too close to him during Corona. And I was like, yo.
Imagine having a fist fight because someone's too close to you. Like,
that's what I told him. When you hit people, like, the blood and the spit splatters. It goes like, you don't see it all the time, but you know, like it's like a
this is the time not to fight, isn't it? Like, this is the
like, you're more likely to catch it.
Do you know what I think we need to do an episode on, which is something I actually meant to ask a lot of times on the conspiracy things? There are a lot of conspiracy theorists that say this thing doesn't even exist. I never asked that in one of them conspiracies. Terra Slim's been saying that today. He said he's never seen any existence that COVID-19 exists.
Well, the clip that I sent you, the link I sent you in the group, it's a David Icke thing, and it's to do with that.
Okay, yeah.
So there's quite a lot of people that are saying that though.
But at the end of the day, like, I know people that's got it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, yo.
Works on the front line at the Excel Center. Do you know what I mean? So people are sick, but
no, not just people are sick though. People are like, there are doctors, you know, like they test your blood for viruses, isn't it? Like, and it shows up. However that's done. I'm not a doctor. I don't know it. Like, there is a test to be done that confirms something, and that's being done all over the world. It's not actually possible it's not possible in my brain to like make that up.
But I mean, I've heard like apparently it's mainly like Asians and Black people that are sick.
Yeah. There is a conversation about that as well.
Wait, though, this is one of the things I don't like about that, because that's Asian and Black people in Western countries.
Wow.
In the Caribbean and Africa, we have not got nowhere near Europe numbers, nowhere near America numbers, nowhere near. So I don't know, this Asian and Black thing, that is to Britain and America and France and the countries where we're minorities. But in countries where we're majorities, we haven't got nowhere near the same numbers as Western countries. We ain't got no Italy numbers. We ain't got no American numbers. Nothing like.
I mean, I think it does exist, but I think it was planted. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
Like it's man-made. Like it was just it's. I think it's population control. That's my opinion. As I said,
Essentially,
that we done.
that show was hectic. I watched that back though, and that was actually as funny as I found it when I was watching it.
But yeah, I mean, that's what I think. It's like it's just come out of nowhere, and it's just shut down 2020.
it has, isn't it?
Like the year's done.
I feel like I don't believe the main story of people eating bat soup and then it spread across the world, because that's also the story of the mainstream story of HIV. People ate monkeys and then it spread around the world. I just feel like it don't make sense to me. Like maybe if there's a doctor that can explain to me why then we don't just keep having these things happening in the same ways, because people have been eating foulness, especially the amount of type of famines that have been going on. Imagine the stuff people's been eating around the world and droughts. Them animals are sick, them people are eating the sick animals, and then I don't know. People just gonna have to explain it to me.
I've got a few go on.
The main story to me is extreme.
That's I think we'll get back to the COVID story on other episodes, because we're nearly an hour in, so we don't want to really go on forever as long as we usually do. So back to the debate. So I just asked online about whether the over 18 age of consent clause should include celebrities. We've got quite a few comments. So Nay Med has said potentially yes, like the Tupac thing maybe wouldn't have happened if he didn't have money and fame. I'm not sure I'm not sure how relevant that is to marriage, because the Tupac thing wasn't an age thing.
Age.
Yeah, so cool. That's just cool. Obviously, he was.
But I think maybe he means the power issue.
Yeah, the power issue, but it was a power issue with him. Like, but what he was. That's complicated. That is a very complicated situation. Bianca Grant has said, I think it's more about morality than legality, as people break laws. So would it simply mean more convictions?
Probably.
Well,
people don't listen, because people don't listen.
But it probably wouldn't mean more convictions, because what Ben pointed out early on is they don't fucking convict this shit already. When it comes to this crime, they don't convict it.
They need to start, I think, because maybe that will stop this kind of shit happening if they start convicting for this sort of crime.
Yeah,
I don't know. I feel like the laws don't change people, innit? You gotta go. We still gotta start educating the youth better about stuff.
Yeah. I don't think it does either, but I like Abby's point early on in that young people now coming up to 16, like in the couple of years before it, are already thinking in their head that they're near that age where it's acceptable for them to have sex, where they're ready to. Yeah. So if that age was different, would their age when they start thinking like that be different?
School, which
I agree. I that point as well. Yeah, that was a good point.
So when they leave 16, then yeah, you can start. You'd have done your GCSEs. You're about to go college or sixth form or whatever. Then yeah, maybe you can just think about that sort of thing. But yeah, I still think it should be 18.
So Diamond Marika has said no, because a teacher has the opportunity to groom a child, for example, and have that trusting moral interaction and responsibility. That's not a celebrity's job or status. If we're going to just base influence as opposed to the normal regular adults who don't work with children. And then Paris Newsam has responded, celebrities have the same opportunity. Adam Johnson is one example. That's not something I'm that aware of. And Sherry Arlett has said, a celebrity has a huge influence on children and most definitely have the opportunity to groom just as a teacher would by offering mentoring services, promises of making it big soon. Their status allows them to be around children on an influencer basis. If they have penchant for young kids. Just look at R. Kelly. Great point.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
I
real
agree.
too. I was thinking even like with priests, I always think they should get more bird because of the power.
Yeah, so they should definitely be covered by that. Fucking hell.
However, in some of these things, I think it should be a law that kind of just applies to man them. Because I was thinking about screws. When man was in jail, any like female staff or screws that did things with man them had the power still. It wasn't the same as in female prison where it's rape. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a different.
What you saying, man? Them still had the power.
Yeah, they had the keys, but man them had the power.
If I don't know, innit? I've never been in that situation, but I know man them will think they have the power even when they don't. Do you know what I'm saying?
Certain times they don't, innit? Because I've heard some good stories, like. But I'm just
Like,
saying,
do man them have the power? Like, did Glenn at school have the power? Do you know what I'm saying?
I think it should apply to men and women.
Yeah.
Advantage.
Glenn was than that teacher.
Someone did say in a comment that actually, like, I usually get my back up about this when they go to what about men, what about boys thing, because it's also often used to deflect, but it was a good point. Someone was like, those laws of age of consent are only for girls, they're not protecting boys, and it's a great shame. And it was a woman who wrote it.
No, it should protect.
Yeah, that is kind of true.
Because there's boys that get taken advantage of at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And, you know what I mean? It's like it's a human right.
Yeah.
No, there are stories, but it's just not as common.
It's not as common. Like it's more of a necessity that girls need to be protected in that sense, yeah. But
it still happens.
It still happens. So why shouldn't boys still also at a too young an age have protections in place? Because so Holly May was the other person involved in a lot of the comments. I'll have to go back to find the other post. And she was really anti this idea of raising the should have really tried to get her to come on here, to be honest. Show and Prove said get Glenn on the show. Yo, are you friends with him on Facebook, fam?
I really ain't.
Yeah.
The last time I saw man was like Morrison's 2008. God bless.
Hey, man, like Glenn. Anyway, yeah. So
I got some good Glenn stories. Glenn lived in Nova's ends.
He kind of lived in my ends. Yeah, him and Turbulence had a fight one time, man. That was wild. Anyway, man, fucking. Yeah.
Remember when we used to go chill by Holloway Prison and he used to talk to the girls over the wall? That was funny.
Oh, yeah. A lot of people used to do that, the weirdos. Yeah. Who was in the power structure there? Because the girls, man, like when we were young boys, man would go to the girls' prison. Like we're like 15 and that. And we would go and chat to the girls and they would like flash their tits and all of that. Because there's just these, you know what I mean, women in a prison roasting. I'm like, right, there's young boys, there's all kinds of advantage being taken here, isn't it? Like, on all sides. Yo, Sean Prove said, who won? My money's on Terms. Yeah, Terms won still, man. I came in with a mad black eye to school and all of that. Like, anyway. But it's like neither of them wanted to fight. They were just getting pushed. It wasn't a wild fight. Like, man, them were just bullying them in it to make them fight. You know what I'm saying? And Terms caught him with a wild one and he got a bad black eye. But anyway, man shouldn't be talking about this on the street.
Yeah, I'm like, yo, what are you doing? I ain't bringing Glenn on no more. I don't want him to watch the
show. Anyway, yeah.
Back to the consent thing, though.
Oh, yeah. Holly May was like, she was making a point that actually, if we're policing the age that young women can have sex, then it's like she was coming in on it on a feminist angle. Like, no, that's not right. That's not right to treat young women like that. And I'm kind of like, well, what makes 16 all right then? You know what I'm saying? So then it became an argument of what age is that all right? You know what I'm saying?
But the women are not criminalized in that, are they?
Exactly. They're not criminalized. Yeah, exactly. They're not. Yeah, that's a great point. They're not criminalized, but they're being told they can't do something. But it's true, they wouldn't be criminalized for doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not catching convictions in that.
Yeah, anyone that commits a crime should catch a conviction straight. It doesn't matter.
No, not like I'm saying, like the young woman, like the young girl who's underage, sleeping with someone, like sleeping with an older guy with consent. She shouldn't be given a conviction.
Well, no, but I don't know. There needs to be some sort of like responsibility, like of.
Nah, man. And look, we got to listen to women on these conversations, but boy.
What do you mean? Like, of course.
I don't mean in the actual act itself. I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying, innit? Like they need to have some sort of, I don't know, therapy or something afterwards.
Okay, yeah, I'd agree on that.
Talking, they need to take responsibility in terms.
But what you mean, like mandatory therapy, though?
Yeah, I think. Well, if it depends on the situation, everything's different at the end of the day. Some girls get taken advantage of. Some of them like willingly do it, but maybe it's because of pressure or whatever it is, or maybe because they want to keep up with their friends. There's all sorts of reasons. But
I'm for mandatory therapy over mandatory vaccination. So I'm
yeah, mandatory. You can't give mandatory therapy either because that's like people aren't ready. People have to be ready in it. But I think we should put things in place that make it very accessible and very encouraged.
I think it just should be offered, and if they want to, because like I said, it depends on the situation. They might not need therapy. Do you know what I mean? But the person who's older and who should have known better should obviously take accountability and be criminalized for it. Should have done it.
Yes.
I feel like we should criminalize the people doing it, but I don't know about making new laws. I feel like we need to first help people understand things, because I feel like there's a lot of gaps in this thing. Men them don't understand stuff. Young girls don't understand stuff about power relations, about consent. Man them ain't taught.
So Khan Mehmet said Westwood works for the BBC, so no surprise he likes kids.
That's what I was thinking as well.
Godzilla 78 also said he came to a club in my town and went off with 70-year-old, probably younger.
That don't surprise me though.
I'm saying like guys, old white guys that work for the BBC in tracksuits and chains. I think like we should just watch all of them. We should investigate all of them. Like we should check
let me break this down though to you, B. If you're saying you don't agree with the new law, yeah, this is what I broke down on my thing, because this is what I only discovered recently, yeah. We all know the age of consent is 16 in the UK, but the age of, I can't remember which year it was as well, and I only ran it was Science who said this. Kieran Harvey, he said all the way back to it was only changed in the 1800s from 12. Like in the UK, the age of consent used to be 12, right? And in the 1800s, sometimes they raised it to 16. This what went in line with what I just learned, is that as far as the CPS and the police are concerned, they only, like, we always call it statutory rape when we're talking about sex with minors, right? That's the American term for it. So in the UK, I found out there is no such charge in the UK as statutory rape. We don't charge statutory rape. We charge it as a crime called sex with a minor, right? They only automatically charge for sex with a minor for 12 years old and under.
Yeah.
Yeah. So from 13 to 15, they question, in order to charge for sex with a minor from 13 to 15, they have to prove that he knew the age, which never happens. So basically, so currently, so this is what I was saying when I was saying the age needs to be higher. So currently the age is 16, but practically 12.
No, it needs to be.
Yeah, from when Abby made the point about the pressure on the kids, I realized 18 would just do better for them anyway, because a 21-year-old is harder to manipulate. You know what I'm saying? Than a 17-year-old.
Yeah.
Like.
So I'm just like that whole like the 16 thing and then all the clauses that come in with it. That's not right. But your point,
mad.
Your whole point originally that we don't even charge this is 100% has to be included in this whole conversation. So for me, it has to come up a bit. I think 18 should be standardly, just because like there's certain other things you can't do till 18 already. You're not considered an adult till 18. Like legally, you're not an adult till 18. So when this Holly May was arguing that once you're an adult, you can't tell adults what to do. And I'm like, yeah, cool. You're not an adult. But they argue that people can live on their own, etc., etc. You don't generally, like, people who are 16 living on their own. It's quite, like, it's not the common thing. That's more time because they've got problems going on or whatever that they need to, you know, to move out.
And it don't make sense. Like, how can the legal age to be able to drink, be higher than the legal age to have sex? Like, that don't make sense. So you can bring another human being into the world potentially, but you can't drink.
Yeah. Danny Barnes has put a few comments through still. He said he done a show with Timothy in Leeds and personally witnessed him chirping chicks who looked way too young to be in the rave. He was in his early 20s. He said, I was in my early 20s at the time and they looked too young for me. And then he has said the age of consent needs to be 18, in my opinion. When we are young, we are trying to become adults. And at 16, we feel like we're already grown. But as you get older, you realize you were still a kid at age 16. So true, man. Like, I look at 18-year-olds now and I think, bro, you're a baby. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no way on earth to me. And like, you know, I got a 14-year-old daughter now, yeah? She's a baby. You know what I'm saying? She's starting to look older now, whatever. But I look at an 18-year-old and they look her age to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, they look like little kids.
And if you talk to them, they are. It's 4 years apart. It's not that big. It's like if you talk to like me, I'm mid-30s right now. If I talk to someone 4 years younger, they're the same. There's not much difference in it. But that's the same with 18-year-olds and their children. They're really kids.
Access to, a younger teenager has access to. There's no difference. But it is about accessibility, but it's about preparation. And like I said, the focus isn't on what it should be for these kids. So
they shouldn't be criminalized for linking each other, though.
Okay.
Here's the thing. Because I mean, like, if an 18-year-old girl and an 17-year-old boy and a 17-year-old girl get together, guys, for that.
What age?
17.
Like, they're the same age.
You know, of course, but that's kind of obvious. Like, I feel like that's kind of obvious, and there is. That's what I'm saying. There is already clauses in the law where they don't charge that. They don't criminalize that. So
it is now. For like, if two 15-year-olds get together now, they won't be charged. They should keep it how it is now. If they made it
raised, of course. Exactly. And that's why I said focus on age difference. Like, have a focus on age difference. Like, Anyway, we've got a comment from Lucy R.J. May who said, wait, are we talking about Tim Westwood? If yes, I've already had a social networking beef with this man, calling him out as a paedophile. My man wrote a post about a year ago apologizing, saying he isn't a paedophile. Facepalm emojis.
Man said sorry for being a paedophile.
Okay, here's a comment from Ho May, who, like, she wrote so many comments that I don't know what's the right one, but I just found one, and it says, you can't control what people choose to do, whether they are 16 or 40. I understand most 16-year-olds are vulnerable, but controlling who they concede date sleep with is unethical in its own right, really. Perhaps the age of consent should be 18. So she did say perhaps it should be 18, but this was my whole point. I was like, where is it unethical? Like, then, because a lot of the comments she made was like, are you saying that we shouldn't have an age of consent at all? You know what I'm saying? Because she was like, she started making statements like, we shouldn't police the age of sex. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, yo, are you saying we shouldn't, like, and I think she was just, she didn't mean that. You know what I'm saying? Even though it sounded, but I'm like, what makes, and then she kept going, once someone is of the age of consent, we can't say nothing. And I'm like, yeah, I agree. That's the whole point of the conversation is, though, should we raise that age? Do you know what I'm saying?
That makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. Like, 18 more than you can at 16. So I think it's a reasonable age.
Sean Prever said, what about younger sex education? And this is also an interesting conversation because a lot of people are anti-younger sex education because they think it's going to, there's a lot of outrage from parents sometimes when they start introducing sex education too young, and also when they start talking about homosexuality and trans issues and stuff like that with young kids. There's been a lot of outrage about that kind of thing, but I think sex education from young, is important.
I think it's important. I don't think it should be introduced in primary schools. I think in the first year of secondary school, which is where I learned about in science we learnt about our bodies and all of that kind of stuff.
We learned about it. I learned about it in primary school from back then.
Yeah, but it's what they're trying to teach kids. Like, it's different. It's changed from when me, you, and Ben were at school. Like, things are different now. What they were teaching us in sex education back then would be.
Oh, you're gonna have a trigger Abby here. Yeah.
No, that's true. I don't want.
I'm glad you're disagreeing on this.
I think online. I think now. I don't know exactly what they teach now, but I think what they teach now is less about sex when it comes to the sex education in primary school. They're just starting to teach about family dynamics and stuff like that.
I just think it's inappropriate at primary school. Secondary school, the first year, I think is reasonable. Like, you're 11. Why do you need to know about it before then? Like, if you're introducing it, if you're familiarizing a child about sex way before, like, we're talking about raising the age of consent to 18. So if you want to talk about teaching them about sex when they're in primary school still, that's just going to backfire.
Isn't teaching them going to help them them to understand the risks? Teaching them about consent, teaching them about age of consent, teaching them about like predators and.
No, then they're too young, and I think it should be down to the parent what they want their child to be exposed to at the age that they're at when they're in primary school. Is too young. Like, no 10-year-old, 8-year-old, 9-year-old needs to know about certain things. And why should the curriculum dictate what our kids should be exposed to? Do you know what I mean? Like, we should have a say in it.
No,
there's a lot of parents that are like, my child is not going to sit in that class. I'll take my child out of the class. But it doesn't mean you can't educate them at home in your own way.
We do. At the end of the day, yeah, we live in a system where our kids go to school, and it's fucked up because they actually legally have to go to it. So our kids have to go to school and learn what the government has decided they're going to learn. That is fucked. Anyway, I'm not really for that. That's a whole bigger conversation.
But then there's people in school. And
yeah, but even then, there's certain things that you have to cover. Do you know what I mean? I'm not sure where it would stand on this kind of stuff.
You can, but then you cover it in your own way because that's your children.
If you homeschool, you don't get like a sex education check. I think it's just like the curriculum stuff. For me,
well, I'm for it. I'm for pro sex education from young age as well. But I think it has to be done in stages. So it's not like you're going all the way in with things that are inappropriate to really young kids. It starts with, and I think there needs to be more focus on relationship education and consent education.
One of the mad things is the relationship education is probably causing the most beef right now.
Yeah, of course it is. It is, yeah.
The sexual family, the transsexual family, the different types of people in families, and what roles they should have. And then people are like, "No, you can't tell my kids what role."
Yeah. Anyway, I guess do we have? I guess I don't know if we really have a summary on this. I feel like most people agreed. I would say the most consensus was yes, it should be risen a bit. Like, it leaned to that.
Yeah. Even me, I started with the view that we shouldn't have no new laws, but then I thought about it, like, really, the way the law is working right now is just mad. So at least just to protect the children, it needs to be higher. And also so they're not just thinking about sex the whole time.
Yeah.
Like the middle of their teenage age, they're just obsessed with losing their virginity, or if they haven't lost it.
And and enforce the laws that we fucking have. That is the biggest fucking problem. Run the CPS and make them fucking do their job properly. And that's why I won't vote. I was about to say I won't vote for Keir Starmer, but I obviously probably will. But that's why I fuck Keir Starmer. You know what I'm saying? Because on another topic.
Yeah. People want to come in on the conspiracy debate when we ever do like God versus science or one of them.
People are asking that now.
Yeah. Awati asked to come through.
Yeah, I wanted to bring Awati on here anyway. But cool. So we'll do another one of them massive ones soon. I think we're gonna do one with so we're gonna do a show where we let people come on and rap, and we're gonna have Idhan on the show since he's locked in as well. Anyway, we've briefly spoken about this, but we'll speak a bit more about this. He said he's got people ready. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Like, you know, like we want people who probably who like being on this channel and shit. So these things fly by, man.
Yeah, they do, man.
So let's do another one in a couple of days or something. Yeah, maybe we
Yeah.
do that if we can get that Idhan one ready in a couple of days. Like we'll do it. I'll do it. Let's do it this week, innit?
Yeah, no.
Anything
Let's
else?
done.
Anything else?
No.
No, not that I can think of right now, but I think we should have a chat before our next one.
Yeah. All right, let's do that, man. All right, Flip Live, Lockdown, episode 5. We will be back soon. We out.
Yeah. Later.